I'm assuming that that's coming from my advertising.
We have to segment, and so in other words, like I do a I have a segmenting. I have this segmenting course that I do, and so in this segmenting course, what we do is we show people how to do this. So when you do your Facebook ads, we want to send them to a specific page. It can be the same as another. It can look just like this other page. We can have several pages. And they're going to all look the same. And so I send a specific Facebook campaign to this page. I track this page. And this page will tell me how many people hit the button. And so then what I do is I look at how many people hit this button from this page, from this ad. Because if people are coming to, if it's just the front page, right, it's impossible to tell. But if I send people from this Facebook ad to a specific page, and it can look just like this other one, it's going to be a replica of my front page. I'm going to know how many people hit this button. That's exactly what I want to know. I want to know how many people hit this button, right, in order to know how much I spent and who becomes a customer, right, who made an appointment. And then what I also have to do is I have to track, and there are ways to do this too. I'm going to track this person all the way through. I'm going to track this person even after they buy. How much more do they buy? How much more do they purchase from me? Because then that really does tell me, what my ROI is on this thing up here. Right? So basically the tracking though starts really simply. And there is something called Google Analytics. Right? And Google Analytics is free. You put that on this page. And then with Facebook advertising, there's a way to track how many people hit the button. They call these conversions. So we want to send traffic to specific pages, and we want to track the conversions on that page, and we keep them separate from the conversions that come as a result of those who come from telephone calls. So when somebody calls, right, and they find out, well, how do I make an appointment? We tell them go to this page. We don't tell them to go to this one. We tell them to go here, because we want to track people and how much they're coming from the telephone. Right? And so they're all the same page. We just duplicate them so that each one, right, goes to a specific page. We can actually do. There's a company called Grasshopper. There's one called Google, and Google Voice does this. Grasshopper, where we can track the numbers that come through a specific phone number. So in other words, if we were to do a Yellow Pages ad, not that people do Yellow Pages ad, we have a Google Voice number with a specific phone number, so that we know that this advert, the only way they could have gotten this phone number is it came from this advertising, right? So we're basically segmenting everything. It costs a few dollars to do it, but the information you get is you sort of know who's coming from where.
Now you know where to put your resources to get the maximum return on investment.
Exactly.
It's organization. It's a lot of this stuff isn't that hard. It's just a matter of actually implementing it.
Yeah, logistically. Now this, you can get your web guy to do this stuff. They can do this in an hour, right? They can set all this stuff up. because all they're doing is duplicating pages, and they're going to say, and you're going to make sure your Facebook gal sends it to this page, right? You say, okay, we're not going to send traffic to this front page. Tell your Facebook gal, okay, I want you to send it to this page because I'm tracking this page. Right? Your telephone calls, you just set up a Google Voice number. You tell your web guy to change the number to this number, right? So that we know all the traffic that comes from that number is coming from something different, right? So really, you do want to make sure this is automated in that sense, but the setup is once.
Grasshopper and
Google Voice
actually track the number of phone calls?
Correct. You'll be able to look back, you'll be able to tell the number of people that called through a specific number. And Google Voice will forward to
a different phone.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, I have a Google Voice account, but I never thought to use it in that way. Huh. Well, it's definitely worth my trip down here today.
Good. Good.
I just wish that she's the operations manager. Like I said, I'm the doctor. I'm the one that does all this stuff. And I tried to get her to come down here today. And I was going to see patients for her and then have her come down. Because I see her making the same mistakes I did. Like, this is her baby, her business. She got it started, she got it off the ground, and I'm just the support because I don't want to be the boss anymore.
I hear you.
Like, kick the patient. But I've started, it's kind of weird, now that I'm only working 8 hours a day, or, I'll go down, I'll start at 2 and I'll go till 8 tonight. And I'm only working 6 hours a day, and I'm sadly making about the same amount that I did when I was working
I get it.
12 hours a day. Because one thing we did do, and you're right, it's where the money's at. We quit writing prescriptions. We still write prescriptions, but people hate going to the pharmacy. So the pharmacy charges $22 for a script. We charge $30. But I tell them in the room, I said, you're going to get the right generic. I said, you don't know what you're going to get at the pharmacy.
Right, yep.
And you don't have to go to the pharmacy, you go home.
Right, yep.
So, and I'd say 85% of our patients,
To get it.
they buy it right there.
Yeah, I'd
on
pay
site.
it. Right.
They don't want to screw with the pharmacy, they walk out with their little bag in hand, happy as a lark.
Right.
Vitamins cost $20 for good vitamins for a year's supply. And, but patients will pay $5 so they can walk out with their vitamins
Correct.
in hand. And they're paying $5 for something that cost me $1. So right there between those two, just the vitamins and the scripts that I'm filling in the office.
You make that right.
Is making up for those other 4 hours I'm not working a day.
Right. Nope, that's exactly right. Right.
So the more of this stuff that I can do, I know you're right. I know that's where it's at. And certain things I've tried haven't worked. But I think it's because, and I didn't try this, she did. Like, she got into this ID Life thing. And they're trying to sell ID Life. And it is a good idea and it's a great product. It's just so ungodly overpriced. I mean, who's going to drop $150 a month on vitamins?